Joining us now, Republican Congressman. He represents Virginia's 5th District, the Fighting Fifth, and he is chairman of the House Freedom Caucus. Bob Good. Congressman, thank you for being with us. Okay, first I want to use your brain as a procedural, for procedural purposes. I want you to clear up how this works. There's going to be a motion to remove the speaker that's going to be brought this week by Congresswoman Greene and a couple of others. Now, there's no expectation this is going to succeed, but it triggers a procedural mechanism to force a vote on the record. How does this work? Demystify for me.
Well, I don't want to predict what she will or won't do. She's pretty much operating on her own with one or two others who've expressed support for what she's doing. She doesn't lead anyone. I think it's noteworthy what you just said a few moments ago, that she's not acting in the best interests of President Trump. I don't think this is a good move 6 months before an election. She's always been about herself primarily, and she holds, a personal animosity towards anyone she deems responsible for the former speaker not being in place, except for the former speaker, and she holds resentment to those in the Freedom Caucus who removed her from the Freedom Caucus. So I have no idea what she may or may not do, but if she were to move forward, though, again, I doubt that, because I think she's been hearing, as the rest of us have back in our districts, that the time to have a speaker battle is in November after the election. Let's focus on expanding the House majority, winning back the Senate, re-electing President Trump. But if she were to move forward, there would be a motion to table it. In other words, a vote on whether or not to move forward with a vote to vacate the speaker. I think that would likely fail. I don't think we would end up having a vote on whether or not to remove the speaker, actually.
So you sound like a no. That sounds like a no from you. Okay, but Congressman Thomas Massie. Well, go ahead, Congressman.
Well, I just want to clarify, just because you don't believe that it is time to take this action now with a 2 or 3 vote margin, much more narrow than a year ago when she was vehemently criticizing those of us who challenged the speaker back in January or voted to remove the speaker in October, when we had a 9-vote majority and we weren't 6 months away from an election. And it's interesting that none of those 8 who were part of it, none of us who were part of that, are calling for this action now, because we realize it's much more dangerous, more reckless, more risky to do it now. But that position doesn't mean that you support Speaker Johnson and what he has done. I think he has failed us miserably for the last 6 months. 90% of the Democrats have voted for all the meaningful legislation that's been passed over the last 6 months.
I want to get to that.
It's simple math and it's simple calendar.
Okay, so Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky, he says, and this goes to your point, he says this will permanently taint Johnson's speakership because he will end up being bailed out by Democrats, and that it seems here like the effort is to force Johnson to be saved by Democrats, and that it will be with Democratic votes, and that this will besmirch him going forward. Do you think that's true, number one, and do you have any misgivings personally about finding yourself in this sort of strange bedfellows situation?
Well, it's certainly very uncomfortable or concerning, I should say, that Democrats would say, hey, we love Speaker Johnson so much and what he's been doing so much that we will vote for him as Speaker. I think that's an unsustainable position for the Speaker. I think it illustrates, again, the failure of the last 6 months on the spending bills, on the reauthorization of FISA, on the foreign aid bill that didn't include border security. All of that were failures of Republican leadership, and that's why 90% of Democrats voted for it. However, I think the Democrats may be baiting these 1 or 2 members into moving forward this action, and I wouldn't trust Democrats to keep their word to bail out the speaker. I think it's an uncomfortable position for us as Republicans if they do, but I would not want to go down that road at this point, only because of the calendar, only because of the simple math on the majority. Again, I think we ought to have a speaker contest in November. I don't think Speaker Johnson can win that. I don't support the work that he's done over the last 6 months, but we need to do the right thing for President Trump's re-election, for expanding the House majority and winning back the Senate.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.